So it's a lovely day in mid-October, and I thought I'd have a look along the Undercliff Drive, just beyond St Lawrence, which is where we are now. So that up there is the inner cliff face of the Undercliff. You can see a chalk cliff on top with some green sand below and some holm oak invading the triple SI chalky cliff face. Looking north now, so there's the inner cliff, and then swing round, see Undercliff Drive, and then that way, actually you can just see the sea through the trees, through the gap, maybe, yeah, there's the sea. So it's about 400 metres wide, the Undercliff here, and as you can see it's all sycamore woodland dominated. Got a chilly easterly today, but here it's just wonderfully sheltered. So if you get cold easterlies or northerlies, this is a place to come. If it's lovely and sunny, it's just stunning walking through here. This is where all the philosks and crests pile into when it's cold up the top. So above on the inner cliff face, looking north again, it's open farmland, so there's really no cover on that cliff top up there. Inland, very little cover, and just hedgerow networks and a few copses. So a lot of the birds just concentrate down here in the Undercliff. So a decade or so ago, this was a busy road going through the Undercliff to Knighton, and then just there, part of the road dropped away and it's now closed. So there are still houses along here. Some of the houses were about, oh, it was a red squirrel, just bounded across the road ahead of us. Probably saw that on the video, I would have thought. Yeah, lots of red squirrels down here, as you just may have seen if you scroll back through the video. Yeah, so the road collapsed. There's a few residential buildings still here. Beautiful old houses. Loads and loads of red squirrels, and it just makes a beautiful walk and cycling route, because there's barely any traffic, only local traffic going to these houses. But when it's warm and sunny like this in October, as we are, you never know what you're going to bump into. I mean, look at it. It just feels rare, doesn't it? It's a lovely old field maple. Our native version of sycamore, I suppose. Ash tree. Lots of holm oaks. Ash tree with ash dieback. Sadly, that's another ash tree with ash dieback. Buzzards calling. Loads and loads of buzzards here. In fact, every ash I can see here has ash dieback. What's this thing here? It's not an oak, is it? No, it's a sycamore. It doesn't look like a sycamore, but it is. There's the inner cliff face again. That really shelters us, so we're looking north. So any northerly breezes just down here. If it's clear and sunny, it's going to be warm and lovely down here. If there's a northerly wind. So that's why the birds drop down into here, because it's so sheltered and so warm relative to the more open, windswept countryside above. If you're a birder, why wouldn't you want to live down here, eh? I think my only Pallas's warbler in the Undercliff was found in just along here, just in a load of wild clematis, traveller's joy grown up, sycamore I think it was, in with a crest flock. I've had a few yellow-browed warblers down here, and well, they're kind of annual in the Undercliff. No doubt if people looked, they'd be quite regular down here. Anyway, let's have a walk along a little way. So I've just come off the Undercliff Drive, and I'm walking down this little footpath here, which is the coastal path. So it takes you from the Undercliff Drive, from the road where I've just parked, down to the coast. bit of a zigzaggy walk, but it's very just a short walk. And basically here you want to encounter a tit flock, or just look under the canopy for, well, I don't know, the old olive-back pipit. Red flanked blue sail maybe, I can dream, I know, dream along. But anyway, yeah, the sycamores are good for tit flock, so always scanning for the long-tailed tits and chiffies and goldcrests and firecrests and that kind of stuff. And obviously yellow-browed warbler, if you're lucky. So when it's more murky and all the thrushes come in, it's really brilliant down here for loads of blackbirds and song thrushes. And as the chill sets in, the redwings get down here as well. More on the open grassy areas that we'll come to in a minute. Let's carry on down here anyway. Oh yes, oh, chiffy. There's lots and lots of springs and streams in this area of woodland as well. So there's little puddles and pools and little streamlines that are always worth a look for, you know, obvious things like northern water thrush. I have found rose-breasted grosbeak just along the coast from here, about 2 kilometres from here, so, you know, and there was a junco a couple of years ago, so you never know. Not entirely beyond the realms of possibility. So it's mainly sycamores. The ashes are obviously dying off. Holm oaks are spreading in. But God, conditions are much better down here now. It was just a muddy, narrow path with streams crossing it every so often. Now it's been resurfaced as part of the English Coastal Path kind of project by Natural England. It's a lot easier to get up and down now. It's actually the first time I've been down here since they redid the work about a year ago. Or redid the path, I mean, about a year ago. Anyway, let's move on down to the coastal bit. So they put a little bridge in here. You can hear the water. This is one of the little streams that comes down. Now, I wonder what could be hiding away in here. It's the sort of place where things would winter, so you get plenty of chiffchaffs wintering down here. Obviously blackcaps. You wonder what else could be hiding amongst them. Hang around these streams. Waiting to be found by birders that never come down here. Cracking habitat, really is. So I haven't actually encountered a tit flock yet. It's quite sort of dark and dank down here. Very hilly bit of woodland. We're on the coastal landslip basically, so we're about 100 metres from the sea. And this is all pretty unstable. May not look very unstable. Well, there's a tree down across the path there, but yeah, so a lot of these trees are at weird angles because they're gradually moving down the slope with the land slippage still standing, just sliding downwards. Yeah. So we're now down at Old Park, which is kind of the westernmost end of the farmland in St Lawrence, within the Undercliff. Got Bankend Farm, which is further east, near the Botanical Gardens, and then this is Old Park. Different bit of farmland. It's a nice bit of open habitat on the coastal cliff top. And just here you've got a nice little area of wetland with a pond in it, where lots of chiffies concentrate later in the winter. So it's only mid-October now. Sycamores are still covered in leaves, so the birds aren't really concentrated in these kind of features yet. They're just all dispersed throughout this really good habitat. That's why at this time of year, kind of earlier in the autumn, it can be very difficult to find migrants down here, just because the habitat is still so full of food and there's so much of it that they're just all spread out. Whereas later in the autumn, early winter, once the leaves start falling, birds start to get concentrated. So just go down this way. So this area here where the cattle get under the sycamores is really good for thrushes, especially later in the autumn. That's the one and only person I've encountered down here so far. It's a guy that just walked past. And that's pretty typical, although this is part of the England coastal path. You just don't get anyone down here really. It's really mainly locals, especially now. I mean, even in the height of the tourist season, people really don't come down here that much at all. So it's a great place for kind of secluded, quiet birding. Green woodpecker. So I'm just walking down to Binall Bay now, one of my favourite little spots that I never come to. Apparently they've improved this bit of the coastal path now. This little bit on the left here is a fabulous little wetland. All the springs concentrate and cascade out here in the streams. Got lovely willows, and just down here you can see the bed of a kind of stream where it widens right out, broadens out. Cracking blue throat habitat. Never had a blue throat in there myself, but I'm sure there has been one. See the sallows. Yeah, there's nice open water down there, and the birds come down and bath. It's lovely and quiet, so you can hear them calling. So we're right on the coast now. It's about 10 metres away, the sea. Probably about 80 metres from where I parked, I guess. Nice sallows. Certainly imagine a yellow-browed hanging out in here with the chiffchass. Surprised there's nothing really calling or anything. I mean, there was a chiffy calling a minute ago, but earlier today there was 7 or 8 chiffies in the tamarisks at East Cliffs in Ventnor. Can't hear anything much down here though. As I was saying earlier, they're probably all just spread out. They don't bother coming down to these little stream habitats because there's just so much food everywhere else. They're just up in the sycamores. A few tamarisks. Right, let's go and have a quick look at the sea. Now this is it's very wild where we are now. A few tamarisks in the stream bed here. Yeah, very wild. It feels a bit like parts of St Martin's or parts of the Scillies. Rougher, wilder bit of coastline. So to the right, to the left of us is open farmland. To the right of us is coastal landslip, and right ahead is a dunnock. Flapping its wings. There's dunnocks everywhere. So these steps and this, yeah, this is nice. This is new, but nice path through there. That's good. Gonna have a look at that in a minute. Excuse the loud sea. I can't really resolve that, I'm afraid. And there is St Catherine's Point lighthouse in the distance. So that's the coastline. Looking west, Beverly Beach. So if birders actually came down here, they'd be finding things just along this bit of coastline, I think. Not easy to walk along, which is why you don't get many people. Well, it's just pebbles, small pebbles. Cracking habitat. Let's go back up here a little bit and look at that new bit they've done, new bit of path. Nice new bridge. This is lovely. So the last time I was here, this bit of path didn't exist. They've just put it in through the tamarisks, because a bit right on the coast, just there on the cliff top, has kind of fallen in a bit. This is lovely. Yeah, you could definitely find some stuff in here. Might have to come down here a few times for the rest of October and into November. See what we can find. Tamarisks always make me think of Benelli's warblers. Not sure why. Now that's a red-breasted flycatcher spot, if ever I've seen one. This is completely new to me. You just couldn't walk through this little spot before they put this bit of path in. And I like it. Yeah, now come on, this is blue sail habitat, isn't it? On the fence line. Prime time for a blue tail. All I can hear is a robin. Siskin's calling. Been a few of those moving this morning. Well, I'm not going to go too far along here, but in a second it's going to open out to the farmland area. Wish I'd known about this bit of path in September. Oh, there's a put the camera away and work out what it is. So yeah, it's basically blue tits and gold crests. 4 gold crests as far as I can see. And a few blue tits. So yeah, nothing else among them as far as I could see. No chiff-chaffs, which is a surprise. Coming out into the open now. More shrikey. It's got to be a good edge for a red-backed shrike. Good for a wryneck as well, you'd have thought. So there's the inner cliff face, looking north again. See why it's a sheltered shelf. Facing south, so it warms up because of the sun. If there's a chilly northerly or easterly, you're pretty sheltered down here. Bit of vismig still going on. Alba wags calling. A few siskins and chaffinches, goldfinches. So I'm not going to go much further, but just look at the view a bit down here. Better view of St Catherine's Point Lighthouse, looking west. So that's where birders tend to go if they're going to go anywhere within the Undercliff. They go to St Catherine's Point. I very rarely go there. I love it down here. This area, Old Park, it's all triple SI. So getting better in terms of wildflowers and stuff. Wheaters love these fields. Cattle grazed. And this little bit of coastline here is just superb. Absolutely gorgeous. It always feels very rare to me. So I get the impression the divers quite like it off this bit of shoreline here, because in winter I quite often see red-throated feeding quite close to shore here. Love these blocks of green sand poking out the rock pipit, poking out the grass. That's where the wheatears get onto, and the windchats as well. Windchats love it down here. They don't nest, just migrants. Wheatears may breed. Can't remember ever seeing any fledglings here though, so they probably don't. Although, you know, it's the kind of place where you would think they were in the past. Plenty of rabbits down here, plenty of burrows around these rocky outcrops. So. Bit of Phragmites on the cliff top. Good bit of booted warbler habitat here. Maybe little bunting along the path. What's that sat there? Stone chat, I assume. Yep, a stone chat doing what the wind chats do. The migrant wind chats in August. Usually in August anyway. Right, I'm going to head back up to where I parked the van and walk along the Undercliff Road a little bit. Just quickly look on this summit. Might kick something out, you never know. It's kind of large pipity, this grassland as well. Looks it. Right, let's head back to the van. So we're just back at the top side of Old Park. Just have a quick look along this path. It's not a right of way, it's just a permissive path that locals use. Gives nice views of the back of the fields. Loads and loads of... Oh, is that calling? Lots of butterflies around this autumn. Yeah, I think the thing that was calling was a skylark, because obviously a couple of owl wags as well. I'm pretty sure it was a skylark. I was talked over it though. The old ivy is still in flower. That'll soon be covered in berries and drawing in the later winter thrushes with any luck. I love this edge here. You basically got open, well, you got the sea, open fields, and then this shrubby south-facing edge with wild clematis and bramble and clumps of blackthorn and hawthorn, and then the fence line. Now, you can't tell me that isn't perfect for a red-backed shrike. That guy walked along here earlier, so that was a while earlier though, so hopefully Hempagrimony, brilliant for pollinators a month or so ago. Lots and lots of ivy bees. Wow, it's just alive. Don't think I'm going to bump into a shrike. Goldfinches and siskins. That would make a nice bird observatory, wouldn't it? Certainly a good hoopoo lawn. Anyway, let's head back. Looking west again. More siskins. Got a bit of vismic going on today. Linnets. Right, let's go back up to where the van is. So this is a section of path that I didn't know was here. So I've kind of been diverted away from the van, walking west. Beware of the dog. This is roughly where the landslip occurred. Just ahead, I think, so presumably this bit of path will cease to exist in a minute when it encounters the main landslip area, which took the road out and a few houses. Let's see where we go. Yeah, last time I came along, well, not along here, but last time I was in this part of the undercliff, the old landslip was fresh. There's a mangled bit of a building up there. Actually, it's one of the little caravans that was at the caravan park here that went in or kind of fell apart as the landslip occurred. Yes, I think we're on the edge of the landslip now, so I'm not sure how much further I can get. Yeah, so now this is where the ground kind of fell away. It's the old chalk and green sand, very unstable ground. So just above there is where the road section collapsed, which they've not replaced, and I doubt they ever will. So the path carries on down that way. Not entirely convinced I'm going to get very far, or whether it will take me back up onto the Undercliff Road, which is where I'm really heading. Yeah, I think it may take me back where I've just come from. So I might double back, head back onto the path I was supposed to be on, up to the van. There's a fire crest up there somewhere. Right, back up at the van anyway. Let's walk along the Undercliff Drive a little way, past where it's all been closed. So still on the coastal path at the moment. Park just down there. So this is one section of the road that fell away. They've kind of closed the road but put in a little cycleway footpath, so you can still walk along here, which is brilliant. So basically you can walk all the way from Ventnor to St Catherine's Point along this route and encounter very few cars and go through this wonderful, if rather extensive, wooded habitat. And this time of year, lots and lots of chiffchaffs and goldcrests and a few firecrests and whatever else is amongst those little flocks, those little feeding tit flocks and crest flocks. Nice to hear a few chaffinches and greenfinches. Obviously greenfinches have been scarce for quite a while, but chaffinches also seem to vanish for a few years from the Undercliff, even from Vismigging. But they're certainly back to some extent this autumn. Chaffinches, that is. Greenfinches are around now, they're kind of beginning to recover as far as I can tell. Another skylark. There's two skylarks together up there. So this is one of the houses that collapsed, or that's become very unstable due to the cliff falling down below, or the landslip slipping. Couldn't even take his vehicle. Ash tree's not looking very happy at all. Nice green sand cliffs. Chough habitat, hopefully they'll be back soon. Poor old ash trees though. That is ash dieback. That's not autumn dieback. So I don't know what's going to happen here. This building seems okay. But this is the caravan park. Looks like it's being used. Another skylark. Lovely old building. So you can just carry on walking and eventually you'll get to Knighton, get to the Buddle Inn, very nice pub. And then just below that is St Catherine's Point. I'm not going to bother going any further, but this is another bit of the road that collapsed. They've just diverted it around. Residents can still get into the houses that are still in use. And people can walk and cycle along. And it's well worth it because it's nice woodland habitat right on the sea cliff. Right, let's head back to the van. Gotta love that inner chalky cliff face. Cracking chalk grassland habitat, very broken, lots of bare ground. Holm oaks are going to wreck it all. Anyway, so I've come a little east now to Wolverton Road in St Lawrence, one of my favourite little spots. So I've walked down to Woody Head, I think, see if there's much going on down there. Probably my favourite spot in the Undercliff. This area around St Lawrence. Well, actually, it is my favourite spot. In the Undercliff. Well, on the Isle of Wight, really. It's cracking, this area. Difficult to work because there's so much cover, but absolutely gorgeous. And loads and loads and loads of migrants down here at the right times of year and the right weather. Don't think it can be beaten, really. Back down on the coastal path now, heading down towards the sea cliffs. Lovely overgrown gardens. Sunny. You can actually hear people. Only the second group I've seen this morning down here. More shrike habitat. My guess, if there was a red-backed shrike down here somewhere, it would have found a clump of flowering ivy sprawling over some low bramble or something in this kind of area, where there'll be loads of ivy bees to eat. Because there's not a great deal, well, there'll be loads of bush crickets actually. Shrikes like Orthoptera. So yeah, there's those massive dark green bush cricket jobbies. So yeah, actually all this shrubby habitat will have loads of those, presumably Roselle's bush crickets, I don't know. I'm not a bush cricket expert, but there's certainly loads of the big ones, the dark green bush crickets. But yeah, they do like Hymenoptera though, they do like the bees. So I'll certainly be going for those. And they're going to be all over the ivy at this time of year. About the only thing that's flowering now. There's Sugarloaf, nice lump on the sea cliff, like a mini Beeston bump. Migrants love it. And looking west now across towards Old Park. All this farmland is triple size, so it's not going anywhere. It's just going to be managed at a low intensity, which is good. Looking east now towards Ventnor radar station and Woody Head closer. This little path leads down into Woody Bay. Absolutely gorgeous little bay. Very wild, crumbly cliffs. Sorry, safe. That's Woody Head, the chalky outcrop there, or headland. See how much cover there is in the undercliff. Oh, there's more people. Very unusual. We really should have a bird observatory down here. It'll come. Working on it. Oh, cliffs are rapidly eroding here and slumping down. More alba wagtails calling overhead. That would definitely make a good bird observatory. Good to hear house sparrows are still down here. A little colony. They love this rough track along here. The old Coast Guard cottages, Woody Bay cottages. Now you've got to admit this looks rare. Again, this would make a great bird observatory. Nice serine habitat. Not sure how long this bit of path is going to be here, to be honest. How much longer? The old cliff erosion is getting very close now. Now on top of Woody Head. Mixture of chalk and green sand blocks. Lovely chalk grassland. There's St Catherine's Point Lighthouse again in the distance. And there is one of my favourite little Vismig spots. This little bench on Woody Head. See inland and off to sea, out to sea. A little bit of a promontory. So birds tend to be low here and hugging the coastline just here. Ah, nice. So this is a Battery Bay in St Lawrence. The old eastern subalpine warbler was in the scrub just up there. And the blackthorns, a few years ago, March I think, when the blackthorns were flowering. The old boathouse. I love this little bay, this beach. Secluded, peaceful. It's like a really good desert wheat ear beach to me. Can't see any desert wheat ears today. I used to come down here a lot in the 90s. Kind of been down here more than 3 times since 1997, I think. Nice to become reacquainted with one of my favourite spots. Try and get down without breaking my ankle. Yeah, dear. Beautiful. I could live in there. Little cabin on the beach. It's lovely and sheltered and warm. Really warm down here. Got a bit of Phragmites on the cliff base. Nice stream coming through. So there's freshwater streams under there. Hence all the Phragmites, all the reeds. So yeah, it's just like some nice bit of rare habitat to me. Booted warbler maybe. Gorgeous. Try not to slip over and break my neck. Find somewhere to sit for 5 minutes, I think. Trying to work out where other people sit. Probably position some of these slabs to make a nice seating area. This will do. Superb. Lovely evening, just walking along Castle Court Road, back towards Ventnor. This is St Lawrence, looking east. The sea is just over there, about 100 metres over there. In a cliff face just over there, about 100 metres. Well, it's probably about 300 metres wide here, so probably 150 metres between the two from where I am. It's amazing, you never get any cars here, so as soon as I start recording 2 drive past, there'll be a third and a fourth one in a minute. Wonder what delights you'd find in your garden if you lived here. All this lovely habitat. All sorts, I would have thought. I may have said Castle Court Road, it's Steep Hill Court Road. Then we're going into Castle Close. Still walking east. I only live here, I don't know what the place names are. There's the sea. Coming up to Little Paxwood, little sycamore woodland just along here. We've had several yellow-browed warblers in the past. Good spot for firecress. So much cover. So there's 12 chiffies here and 3 gold crests. Just waiting for the American leaf warbler to pop out. Canada warbler would be nice. Or a firecrest, obviously. That would also be nice. I think they've actually moved through. Oh no, there's a something or other down there. Nice if it would appear properly. Chiff chaff. Two chiff chaffs. It was a crest anyway, the thing that I didn't get onto properly. I assume a gold crest. Oh, here it is. Oh, hang on. Firecrest. Excellent. Another crest in flight. I think that was a crest anyway. No American leaf warblers though, but firecrest is good. There's at least one other firecrest just up in the sycamore up there. There might be a second one because it chased another crest. Flying. That looks like a firecrest, just flew into that turkey oak. Walking under the main canopy of the wood now. We need a few autumn gales to send the leaves curling a bit. So birds tend to be on the sunny edges this time of year, rather than this cooler interior. All the invertebrates are on the sunnier edges, presumably. Come on, yellow-browed, start calling. Must be one in here somewhere. Chiff chaffs and firecrests so far. Just down on this slope later in the autumn, kind of late October, November, all the thrushes get under these trees and scratch around the leaf litter. Once these leaves are largely stripped off the sycamores, it's great going through those. Magic. Yeah, I'm sure there are things flitting about on the sunny canopy up there, but I'm not going to hang around to scan right up there. These are tall sycamores.